8 Best Herbs for Sleep. Sleep troubles plague even the best of us. Every single person on this planet has had a hard time falling asleep at some point or another. Almost all of the time it is due to one simple reason: stress. Serious emotional upheaval or even just a bad day is enough to disrupt our cycles completely. And sleeplessness due to stress is just the first symptom of many, many more serious conditions that can befall you. Think of insomnia as the warning bell. If you don't get your sleep under control, and the root of the thing that's causing you to be stressed in the first place, your overall health will begin to decline. Every condition under the sun begins to crop up much earlier than they should, and with much more ferocity. Heart disease, cholesterol, diabetes, random rashes, digestion issues, and even autoimmune conditions start showing. The thing is, sleep allows your body to recover in every way possible, regrowing cells and discarding the old ones, removing toxins from the body, and your brain gets to sort through the day's events and the troubles that are living rent-free in your subconscious. Getting better sleep could very well cure your anxiety, decrease depression, and yes, reduce stress. Without all of the outside influences and distractions of the waking day, your brain can take its time to sort through all of the problematic areas in your mind. So let's take a look at some natural remedies for insomnia. Both those that can get you to fall asleep, sleep more restfully, and the ones that help to reduce the stress that caused your exhaustion in the first place. Number 1. Chamomile. Let's start with the most obvious of the sleep aids, chamomile. Specifically, German chamomile. Yes, it's been used since forever and we've all heard about it. But there's a reason for that. It's because it works. Plain and simple. Chamomile doesn't help you fall asleep, but it relaxes you enough that sleep comes easier, and when you finally doze off, the quality of sleep is better and more restful. Chamomile increases blood flow and streamlines the circulation process, and it's thought that this ability, coupled with its relaxing effects, is what helps you sleep deeper, and therefore be more efficiently rested tomorrow. Number 2. Ashwagandha. Okay, you've probably never heard of ashwagandha, but it's actually a pretty commonly available extract and capsule to find online, even if it's not mentioned very often. The great thing about ashwagandha is that it's been through a number of clinical trials, and every time it proves its effectiveness, not just to improve restful sleep, but also to reduce anxiety overall. And they didn't just take random people to apply this to. They approached patients with diagnosed anxiety. Those patients were taken off their prescribed medications for a few days, and predictably their condition and their sleep deteriorated quickly. Half the group were given a placebo, and the other half were prescribed ashwagandha in tincture and capsule form. The placebo patients reported no change in sleep or anxiety, where the others reported better sleep and reduced anxiety. Their heart rates remained more stable than the placebo group when put under stress, and they had none of the side effects that came with prescription medications. That's not to say their conditions were absolutely cured, but the improvement was remarkable enough that their regular medications dosages could be lessened after making ashwagandha a part of their daily diets. Number 3. Skullcap. Similarly, American Skullcap was taken through another study, this time by the British. The results were almost identical to ashwagandha's, but they took it a step further and proved that it regulates the release of serotonin in the brain. So the results weren't just based on patient testimony. The labs agreed with the people who were given the treatment. And you know how much we love it when the science corroborates what people have been saying for centuries. Number 4. Passion flower. Passion flower is a little-known sleep aid and not necessarily very commonly found fresh. But the extract isn't any more expensive than any other extract, and it works just as well as getting it off the plant directly. Passion flower doesn't put you to sleep or make you drowsy, but it does help you sleep more restfully and without numerous bouts of waking in the night. It's mild enough not to make you groggy, but strong enough to keep you asleep. It's a great addition to other relaxing herbs like chamomile, just to get you through to morning with one long, uninterrupted rest. Number 5. Hops. Hops was a rather interesting discovery for us. Again, we looked at a clinical trial, but this time they took nurses to see how well it actually worked. Nursing is notorious for being a high-stress, huge anxiety, and crazy work schedule line of work to go into. Statistically speaking, it's one of the most stress-inducing livelihoods that often leads to PTSD. They couldn't have asked for a better control group. Hops, as you know, is the main ingredient in beer, but the study did not give the nurses the alcoholic version of hops. Instead, they gave them non-alcoholic versions of the drink, drunk with their meals. And all of the subjects reported that they fell asleep more quickly, that they slept more restfully, had a remarkable decrease in stress, and waking during the night reduced exponentially. In other words, you don't have to get drunk to pass out. The base ingredients, without the fermentation process, works just as well. Number 6. Valerian root. Valerian root is one of those Hail Mary passes, if nothing else worked for you. Not only does it bring on drowsiness, depending on the dosage, it also induces a deep sleep. When taken through studies, valerian root put people deep enough that they slept so deeply that they didn't dream at all. And we do need to dream, just as much as we need the sleep itself. But after all else failed and you're desperate to get your schedule back on track, take valerian for 2 days to reset that internal clock. Number 7. Blue Vervain. Blue Vervain is another one of those that you might not have heard about, but it is also the strongest aid, and therefore the absolute last resort on our list. Like valerian, it should only be used when there are no other options on the table, because a true restful and recovering sleep is one that involves dreams, REM sleep, and even waking up to go to the bathroom if you need to. But sometimes, our year's worth of sleeplessness has created a system that's so out of whack that the only way of getting it back on track is to enforce that 8 hours every evening for a few days. Vervain will make you drowsy enough to fall asleep and keep you asleep for longer. Number 8. Light. And finally, there's one very simple way to force your clock back to normality. Get rid of light. And we're not talking about closing the blinds and turning off the light switch. Studies have shown that people who go camping without electronics, even under the most extreme cases of insomnia, can get a complete reset in as little as 3 days. The amount of artificial light that we get from our computer screens, cell phones, and fluorescent bulbs is enormous and detrimental to the brain. Of all the reasons that you're not sleeping well, artificial light and stress are the biggest culprits. We can't remove every ounce of stress from our lives. That's just a part of life sometimes. But we can try to take a few days off to go out into the wilderness to get away from it all. And this isn't just us talking either. This is pure science. We've seen it play out 100 times before. It's why kids get nightmares, because they're on their tablets all day. It's why we sleep so badly, because we scroll on our phones right before bed. Even patients in hospitals slept better when the fluorescent lights were kept off and they were left only with candlelight during the night. Even just putting the phone down 2 hours or more before bed is already going to help immensely, or else those neurons will continue to fire at light speed, keeping you up all night. Sleep aids bought over the counter work well enough to get you to sleep, but all of them remain in your system so long that you end up tired and groggy all throughout the day, no matter how many hours of dead sleep you got from them. No, if the cure is from nature, or a simple change in your screen time routine, why on earth wouldn't you try it? There are no after effects, no grogginess tomorrow, and no reliance on a pharmaceutical product that comes with a million side effects and the danger of developing an addiction. Or what do you say? Are the pills better than the natural stuff? Or have the old-timers been getting it right all this time after all? Let us know in the comments below. We always appreciate our viewers' input. Or tell us about the remedies you use to help you sleep like a baby. But then again, anyone who's ever had a baby knows that they never sleep. So maybe that was the wrong choice of words. And as always, like, subscribe, and have a look at some of our other videos on your screen right now. Until next time, sweet dreams.